friends, this is Julie Golding-Page, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, along the tidal Scoodic or St. Croix River, the traditional territory of the Passamaquoddy. And I'm grateful that they share this beautiful place with us. Today I have an Easter card for you since Easter is coming up this weekend. And I hope that if you are celebrating Easter this weekend, you'll enjoy the card. And even if you're not celebrating, I hope that you will enjoy it as well, because there's some nice techniques here, and you could easily turn this card into a non-Easter, just kind of spring or really any time of year card as well. So let's get right to our project. All right, so first I wanted to tell you as well that these 3 cards are all made with the same stamp set. They are made with this beautiful Easter Lily stamp set. And this particular class with these 3, I have been broadcasting throughout this month. And you can find the additional videos for these 2 cards on my website as well, which is juliescraftaddict.com. If you can't find them, just send me a note and I'll be happy to reference that for you. And also you can find the full instructions written out for this particular card that we're going to be doing today if you just click that link that is featured to learn more, and it will tell you all of the information you need to make that card. But with an order through the end of March 31st of $60 or more before tax and shipping, I will be pleased to send you the supplies for all 3 of these cards. So I include all the paper pieces pre-cut for you. I also include all the embellishments and the ribbons, whatever you need. So you just add the stamps and the ink. So you can use the featured stamp set, which is Easter Lilies, or you can use any stamp set that you have at home that you'd like to use instead. Lots of florals would work for these cards as well. So I hope that you will enjoy those as my gift to you. I really had fun playing with this particular stamp set and bundle. And I also wanted to mention too that there is a coordinating die set that is Easter Lilies dies. Last week when I was making this card on the left that uses the dies extensively, I wasn't sure if it would be back or if it was just going to be discontinued, as it's supposed to retire at the end of April. Unfortunately, it has been discontinued. However, you do not need the dies to complete my free class when you place a $60 order with me by the end of March. I send you all these pre-cut pieces, and these other ones for these flowers you can just cut out with scissors, so you don't need the dies actually to do my free class. All right, so let's go ahead and start into this. Maybe if you're watching today, let me know if you're celebrating Easter this weekend, what you're doing to celebrate. And if you're not celebrating, how are you going to enjoy the long weekend ahead? I would love to hear. So let's get right to our project now. So here's what your pre-cut packets would look like when you place your $60 or more order with me. See, I've got it all ready to go, even got the embossing done there for you. And the first thing we are going to do is actually stamp on our little tag here. Now this is made with the tailor-made tags dies. Let me just grab those. I forgot to get them out. Okay. So these are the tailor-made tags dies, and these have been a go-to item for me for the last few years since they came out. The star doesn't come with them. I'm not sure how that got in there, but anyhow, it's the tags, so these nested tags, and then these items to put on the ends of the tags if you wish to. But I usually just punch them out like this with my die cut machine, and I actually never have used these ones, I don't think, because they don't really require it. They look very, very nice without. But in any case, these tailor-made tag dies are going to be retiring at the end of April, and they will not be restocked. So if you don't have these dies and you'd like to get them before they disappear, now is the time. We do have a last chance sale that is starting on April 9th. But the thing is, a lot of people get the information ahead of time, like I'm telling you now, about which things are retiring, and they can sell out. I know there's a number of items that have sold out already because people have bought them in advance of the sale. So it's a good idea to get them if you need those. And let's use our Flirty Flamingo ink there. So here is the Flirty Flamingo ink. This is one of my favorite colors. I really, really like this color a great deal. It's kind of like a coral and a pink all put together. It's so pretty. And we're going to stamp this one that says, "He is risen." So that is for this weekend, for Easter Day, celebrating the resurrection. Which is a really important day for Christians around the world. If it is not your thing and you're not celebrating, just feel free to replace this with another sentiment that you would like. You could use another sentiment from this set or from something else, whatever suits. So I like it that with paper crafting, we can always change it up to suit our own needs and our own preferences and interests. That's always a good thing. So even when I give these videos, all of the things I'm telling you are just how I did it, and they're all suggestions, but you never have to do it the way that your instructor says. You can certainly just add your own creative flair to it at any time. All I would say about my classes is if you decide to change them up, I just can't guarantee what kind of result you'll get because I'm not there to see what you're using instead as different substitutes. So I can only vouch for basically what I've done because I know that this works because I've tried it. But you're certainly free to do whatever you would like with your projects, that's for sure. Okay, so I will show you how that turned out. So that is just a very simply stamped sentiment. Looks very nice and clear. So I'm going to put that aside for now. And we are going to do our embossing and blending brush techniques now. So we are going to stamp the lily, the buds, and the leaves. And I'm just going to move this card out of the way so it doesn't get embossing powder and ink all over it. We are going to use Versamark ink here. So I will get that ready. And you just need a piece of scrap paper. So I've grabbed an old piece of paper out of my bin here. And I'm just going to use that. So there's my Versamark, and I will want these 3 images. So this one, the big lily, the buds, and the leaves. So I'm just going to get out 3 separate blocks so I can stamp them all pretty much at the same time. So there is one, that's the big lily. Here are the buds. We'll put them on that one. And there's the leaves that we need. So if you're new to stamping or to photopolymer stamps like this where you can see through them, what I always do when I get a new stamp set is I take them off these little acetate sheets that they come on. And this one, they're sticking to it actually. But what I do is I stick them right on to the back of the stamp case like that, so that you can find the images when you need them, because they're very helpfully reprinted there, so that they fit just exactly. And the other thing is that once you have them stuck on the interior of your case, you can always tell if you're missing something and what it is that you're missing. So you can see that I've taken off this one, and this one, and here they are on my blocks. Otherwise, it's really easy to lose little bits of these and not realize that they've gone astray. So I really like to stick them on there, and then I can see all the time that I've got everything I'm supposed to have. Oh, hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining in today. I hope you'll enjoy this project. All right, so let's go ahead and we will stamp these in Versamark ink. So here I've got 3 little pieces of paper that I'm going to use for this. And then, actually, I'm going to turn it this way because we're going to put powder on them after they are stamped with the invisible ink. Okay, so here's the Versamark watermark ink, and I like to ink them up really, really well because you want that powder to stick to them really well, because that's the basis of your embossing and will ensure whether you have a clear image or you've got gaps. And you can always redo it anyways. That's not a big deal. One of the favorite things to say in the industry is it's only paper. So if your paper doesn't work out the first time, that's okay. You can always do it again. All right, so there's that one. So let's go ahead and I'm going to just hold it down for several seconds here, just to give it lots of time for that invisible ink to go onto the paper. All right. And there's that one. Okay, I'm going to move that out of the way. Before you do any powdering, make sure that you move your stamps out of the way, because you do not want the powder on your stamps, because then it will make your images kind of wonky and obscure the image. All right, so there's that one. So I'm going to do that one over here on this little piece of paper. So let's just stamp that one down as well. So welcome everybody who's come to watch this today. Just to say again what I did at the beginning, that this is one of 3 cards that you can receive in a free class from me with your $60 order before tax and shipping by the end of March. And I'll grab those other cards so you can see them again after I do the embossing here. So what I want you to see with this embossing is how super simple it is. So you just stamp in this Versamark invisible ink, and then we're going to powder everything next. So I'm going to make sure that I close my Versamark. You don't want to have the powder going when you've got this open, or it'll be in your stamp pad and then it won't work properly for you afterwards. So these all have our images on them in invisible ink. And today I'm going to be using the Metallics embossing powders. So the Metallics embossing powders come with silver, copper, and gold, as you can see here. So here are the 3 colors, and I'm going to use copper today. The other 2 cards that I did before, the last 2 weeks, I used silver on one and I used gold on the other. So I tried to use one of each, just so it's kind of interesting that way. All right, and you can see I really poured that on liberally there. I wanted to make sure that it had lots on, and you can see there it is. And I'm going to just tap on the back to kind of get the excess off. That looks pretty good. So there's one. Oh, and another tip I would give is that at this time of year in lots of parts of Canada and other parts of the world as well, it can be still kind of cold. And you might be using hand cream, or maybe any time of year you might be using hand cream or some kind of moisturizer on your hand. And what I would say, that looks a little light, so I'm going to give that a little bit more. What I would say about using moisturizers on your hands is don't do it before you emboss. Because if you do, the oils from the moisturizer will leave little fingerprints all over your paper, and then that will emboss too. And you really don't want to emboss your fingerprints in your project, I don't imagine. So it's better to make sure your hands are absolutely dry before you do that. I do find that if you're in an area with really high humidity, it is much, much harder to emboss well. And so see if you can get a kind of climate controlled area to do your embossing rather than just full out humidity, because that is really, really difficult to keep all the oils and things off from your fingers off your project. I just find it's really tough. All right, so we are going to go ahead and heat this up now. So we first stamped in our Versamark watermark ink, which looked invisible. Then we sprinkled our powder on top, and now we're going to use our little heat tool. So all you have to do is just put it up to speed 2. It's got full instructions, but that's basically all you do for embossing. And it's just like a little hair dryer that concentrates all the heat at the end. So if you can use a hair dryer, you can drive one of these things. They're super easy. So I'm just going to turn it on. It might be loud or you might hear nothing. I'm not sure. It depends on how the phone works today. So you're going to heat it up for about 10 seconds, and then you're going to start your embossing. All right, so let's see how we do. Oh, yeah, I can see the magic. Look at that. It's turning coppery. It's turning to this lovely copper finish. So you can see that the powder is just turning into this beautiful embossed finish. So make sure I got it all enough there. Okay, that one's done. Let's do our next one. try our final one. And you can use some tweezers if you find that helpful when you're doing this. I knew that I could just kind of hang on to the edges of these ones, so I didn't bother with that. But if you have really small images and small papers, it can be helpful to have a tweezer, set of tweezers, because that heat gun is really hot. You can see I did have a little fingerprint there, but I didn't bother with that because I knew that I was going to color these images and then cut them out. So we won't even use that part of the paper, so it's all right. But if you were embossing a big panel, what I would suggest you do is use your embossing buddy. This is a little embossing buddy. You just swipe this across your paper, and it's got kind of a chalky substance inside, and it takes away any humidity on a big piece of paper. These ones I thought were small enough that it was going to be fine. But on a big panel, I'd do that, and then you wouldn't get these fingerprints on there. Okay, so we've got those done. So let's go ahead, and we are going to do some blending now. So I'm just going to grab my Lemon Lolly stamp pad. There's Flirty Flamingo. I've got Lemon Lolly, and I need Parakeet Party. So Parakeet Party is actually one of the colors that's going to be retiring really soon. And I noticed the ink refills for this have sold out already. So if you're looking for anything in Parakeet Party, I would advise getting it as soon as you can because it's already starting to sell out. Okay, so there's all my little things that I need. I think I'll get another scrap piece underneath there. And this is the one I used before. You can see I blended on here before. So I'm going to move them up now a little bit. And we are going to start with an easy one. So that's this one. We're going to start by using our blending brushes. So you can get these little blending brushes. These are some old ones I have, but Stampin' Up! Has ones these size too. And I think there's 3 for $16.50, but they're going up when the new catalog comes out, as a number of things are on May 1st. I think these ones are going up to $20 from the $16.50. So Stampin' Up! Tries to keep their prices stable as long as they can, but like any company, they have to put them up eventually. And we know how much things have gone up lately, so they're going to have to put their prices up. So now is a great time to get some of these items, and then you'll have them in advance. Some of the adhesives are going up as well. The cardstocks are going up. Note cards and envelopes. The black ink in particular is going up. The Tombow liquid glue is going up. Like, there's a number of things that are going to be going up at the end, or at the beginning of May. So that's all I did for that. I just blended in a little bit of green. I wanted more intense color here, and then kind of having it go a little bit less toward the white end of the spectrum on the ends there. So that's all I'm going to do with that particular one. Maybe I'll put it into the buds as well. I don't think you'll actually see it on the buds. On my sample card here, the buds are tucked behind, so you don't see the green, although I did add it. So why don't I just add a little bit here too, just in case they end up being visible. And if they don't, well, that won't matter anyway. So just to clean up these little blending brushes, you can just brush them off onto paper like that. It's okay that they're green like this or whatever color. I just suggest using one for each kind of color tone that you have. So you can see I've used these for various things, but yellow, orange, and green. So I don't want to use my orange one for green too, or it'll mix up the colors. If you do need to wash them, you can just run them under warm water. You'll see the water-based inks come right out, and that's what Stampin' Up! Colors are. They're all water-based. And so you can just run it until it's a lot clearer than this, closer to this kind of bristle color. And then to dry them, rather than dry them this way, so to set them like that, that will have all of the water go into the bottom of the brush, and that's not what you want. So you would put them this way with the bristles down onto a cloth or something, and then they can dry out that way. Okay, so I have a brush for my yellow, which is Lemon Lolly. And I have a brush that I use for kind of pinks, like the Flirty Flamingo, so I'll get those out now. We're all done with our Parakeet Party Green, and we're going to open up the Lemon Lolly now. All right, so here we go. Okay, so I'm going to brush in some yellow here into my buds, and you can see I'm loading it up with the ink here, and then I'm kind of tapping off, and that's simply to make sure it doesn't go with a big blob when I add it to my buds here, because sometimes it has a big blob and then you get kind of this almost a fingerprint style blob in the middle. So that's what I'm going to do there. Now I'm going to add some yellow here. So I'm just going to start in the middle and kind of make circles rather than swipe up like I did before. And I want this to be a pretty nice yellow, but it doesn't take much actually. You can see like that quickly it's got yellow. So that's all I need for my yellow. That's done. So you can see how easy it is and how quick it is to add these. It's really, really simple to add these colors, and it looks really quite gorgeous with your embossing because the embossing has this lovely raised finish, and then you can just kind of brush in the color on top of it, and it looks so great. And of course it doesn't bleed out or anything because it's already embossed and raised, so your outline stays exactly as it was. Okay, so let's just blend in a little of this pink in the middle, a little bit of the Flirty Flamingo, and that might even be enough. So that kind of gives it a little orangey hue. Maybe I'll add a little more, see if I can make it a little pinker. But that's it. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And here we're going to add a little on the bottom of those buds. And then that'll be enough as well. It's really not a lot that's needed. Oops. So I'll show you what that looks like too. So it gives it kind of this peachy orange almost finish to it, going from the pink into like a peachy orange into yellow. And it really adds a lot to it, I think. So you can add as much or as little color as you like. You could do your whole flower. If you didn't want it to be white, you can make it a different color. But that's all I'm going to do. So that is it for our inks for today. That's really all we need to do. And now we're just going to cut these out. So I was saying earlier, if you're just joining me now, that the dies that coordinate with these images and the stamp set called Easter Lilies are unfortunately already discontinued because they are retiring at the end of April. So when they went out of stock recently, they just didn't replace them. They wouldn't be available probably in time before they were retired anyway. So I'm going to use the dies today, but you could just as easily use your scissors and cut those out. It would work great. So this is the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is going up in the next catalog as of May 1st. So now's a great time to get this machine. And here's a tip for you. I have the white one, but there is one called Boho Blue Limited Edition. That's what you have to look up. Boho Blue Limited Edition. And that should bring it up on the Stampin' Up website. If you can't find it, let me know. But it is actually less expensive than this white one. So it's $86 and the white one is $90, and then it's going to just go up in the new catalog. So now's a good time to get one. So they all come with these instructions. You can see I've used mine a lot here. So we want to place a plate number 1, 2 plates number 2, and in between them, we're going to sandwich our paper and then put on top the die with the cutting side down. So if you're not familiar with die cutting, it's really easy. I'll say that first. And you can tell which side is the cutting edge because it's got this raised bit. It doesn't hurt to touch it or anything. It's not that sharp. the other side's going to be smooth. So you want to put it with the cutting edge down and the smooth part on top. Okay, so you just put that over and then you sandwich your other one on top. Now, if your die moves on you, what you can do is just secure it with a little piece of washi tape or another low tack tape. So it's really easy to do that. I find I can often get it to stay where I want, but every once in a while, there's one die that just won't stay where I put it. So I do use the washi tape as well. So there's our image. And again, you can just use your scissors. Paper snip scissors are great for that. Oh, paper snip scissors actually are going up in the new catalog as well. I think they're going up to $16.50 from $15. So if you need an extra pair of those, now is a great time to get them too. All right, let's see. So there's a number of things like that that are going up and a number of things that are retiring. So in today's blog post on my website, if you just click the Learn More link there, or the featured link in this video, it'll take you to that post. I've got lists of retiring items, how to find them, that sort of thing. And then you can better prepare for the end of some of these favorite products. A lot of people wait for the sale and they just don't realize that many things sell out ahead and then they're disappointed when they can't get them. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that so that you can get what you need and not be disappointed. Okay, so let's see if we can get this one to match up or if I need the washi tape on there. Let's see. That looks okay. If it'll stay there. Oh yeah, it did. Good. So I'm just putting a little pressure on it until it gets going. Then I'm moving my machine so you can see, and I'm pressing down with my hand on the handle here with my left hand and then running it through. So this machine has no electricity or anything like that. What it does is it just uses rollers inside. I don't think you can see it, but the rollers produce the pressure. So that's all it does. And it folds up really well, so you can take it on the go too. All right, so, oh, and if you're like me and you have plates like this that have been well used, you can get replacements for them. Mine are still working fine, even though they look kind of bad, but they work really well, so I haven't replaced them with the new ones yet. I have some in my drawer ready to go, but they've been okay so far. But if you need some new plates, I think they said that those are going up too on May 1st. Don't quote me on that. I'm not completely sure. I'd have to look it up for sure, but I think that's what I heard. So it's a good idea to just have a look at things and consult about anything that you want to know. Like if you want to know if an item is going up, just let me know and I can find out for you with the information that I have. Demonstrators have the new catalog already. They're not available to share with customers until May 1st or until the paper copies come in the mail, but we have the PDF now. And so if you need some information, just let me know and I'll do my best to find out for you. Okay, so let's see. We've got all these different things here. All right, so this is my card base, which is basic white thick cardstock. And there we go. So if you're fond of very vanilla, some of the very vanilla products are actually retiring. So like the very vanilla envelopes are going away and some other things as well. So if you need to know about those, let me know and I can check exactly which ones are disappearing. So I'm just using my Stamp and Seal here. If you're new to Stamp and Seal, which I know many people are, when you use it, what you want to do is always pull back, never forward, because that can snap the thing inside. And just make sure that where it says Stamp and Seal is on the bottom when you're using it. So just pull back from there. This piece I've embossed, so you could emboss with whatever you want. Your packet, when you place a $60 order with me, will have it already cut and embossed for you. This with the stripes and splatters 3D embossing folder, and that is one of the things that has sold out and been discontinued already. but there are other ones that are left, and you could use whatever pattern you want. There we go. So I've got that. And we are just going to take Stamp and Seal and just adhere that to the front of our card base here. All right. So I'm just more or less putting it in the middle. I'm going to line it up on my grid paper so I can see if I've kind of got it in the middle there. That would be nice, as close as I can. There, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now I have my tag. Over here, I have my pieces of my flower, and I've got this ribbon. Now this is from the 3/8 of an inch sheer ribbon combo pack, and it comes with 3 spools of 5 yards each. One is lemon lolly, like this, and it has this beautiful silver threading through it. It's also pink, so there's also a pink one, so you get bubble bath, and the other one I think is azure afternoon. So you get the 3 colors, the 3 primary colors really, a pink, a yellow, and a blue. And I came to this ribbon combo pack rather late in the game because it is retiring soon, but I've been using it for a lot of things lately. I really like it. I don't know why I didn't get it before, but I waited to buy it, and then I'm kind of sorry I did because I really, really like it. And I like that it's so versatile because you get the 3 colors together and then you can use them all. Okay, so there is my tag. Now let's see, we want to put this together. So I'm going to bring my sample here. And there we go. So we want to kind of put this together here. Whoops, I got it sideways, I think. How did I do this one? Let's put it the same way. Okay, so kind of like that. That looks good. So you could use liquid glue or whatever you like here, but I'm actually just going to use a glue dot on there. And I'm going to put the glue dot on the green side of my leaves here, just kind of at the top there. You can see there's a glue dot on the end. And I'm just going to arrange it kind of like that. And if you find that your glue dot means you can kind of move your flower around and you don't want it to do that, it's okay because we're going to put dimensionals on the back and we'll make sure that it doesn't move. So if I have this sideways, I like to arrange all these things first before I glue them down. So let's see what we get here. So that would work. All right. So I'm going to put a glue dot on there as well, so we can stick the whole flower piece together. All right. Oops, I didn't get a glue dot after all. There we go. Now I did. Okay, so if we put that, now it's stuck on me. This glue dot does not want to go. There we go. So maybe kind of like that would do. And now we'll put our dimensionals on. And I've got some mini dimensionals and regular dimensionals. I'm happy to report they are not going up in the new catalog. I checked. And they're one of my things that I use the most. So I'm happy about that. So use the minis down there. Now I'm putting this big one over top of the stem, where the stem and the flower attach. And that way they should stay in one place and stay together really well. And I'm going to do the same here. So where the buds attach, I'm going to put another dimensional there. So there's not really a right or wrong way to do this, but that's kind of what I did. And this one, I'm just going to put 2 on the back. That should do just fine. And that's it for our dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to stick this one on. So let's see. Let's put it kind of here-ish. That looks pretty good. Okay, and then we'll take all these little papers off. Now, we've had such weird weather here lately. It's been warm, way above 0 almost all the time until the last week or week and a half, and then it got cold for a little while. Now it's warm again. So my nails were in a bad shape after all that crazy dry weather and then too wet, and so I had to cut them all down today. So I'm having a little more difficulty than usual getting these dimensionals off, because I find long nails for me work better. I know everybody's different. Some people think that it's better to have shorter ones. Some people use the different tools to get the backing off some of these products, but anyways, I will have to wait for my nails to grow out again now. Okay, so now all we need to do is add these little embellishments. And I'm just realizing I don't have them here. Let me see if I can find them. Okay, so I have some embellishments nearby. Aha, there they are. Okay, that's them. And while I'm at it, I can show you this sheer ribbon combo pack. So that's what it looks like. I've just got yellow in here right now because I was using a lot of the yellow. But it does come in the bubble bath and azure afternoon as well. And these little embellishments are called adhesive back solid gems. They're also retiring very soon. And they're nice colors. Interesting combination there. And I'm going to use 3 on here. So my original card had 1, 2, 3. I like that because a triangle kind of brings your eye down through the whole image. And I like also that these little gems have 3 different sizes. So you've got the small, the medium, and the large. And I find that a really big benefit when you're doing something like this. Just to have that variety of size, it just looks really, really good. So I'm going to put a big one at the bottom there. I'm going to put a medium one kind of here. And then I'm going to use my tool here. Now, the small ones are really small. So this is the Take Your Pick tool. It has a die cutting end here. So a sharp end to use for die cutting and other things like that. And then this end has putty. So here's what you do. You just... Oh, I've got those underneath. That's why I can't pick it up. Okay, so let's use this one. So you just pick it up there, and then you can place it wherever you want. And the putty does the hard work for you. So that is the end of my card. I hope you enjoyed this project. And again, if you would like to get your pre-cut packets for my free Easter Lilies class, they include these 3 cards. So this one, that is made entirely out of white cardstock, I might mention. So who knew you could have such a colorful result from just white cardstock? This is the second card here. You can see that's the silver embossing. This one was a gold embossing. And then this card as well, the He Is Risen card that we're doing today. So this offer for the free class is good until the end of March. And if you have any questions, just send me off a message. I'd love to hear from you. This weekend, I'm going to be around. I'm actually also an Anglican priest as well as an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And so my husband is a priest as well, and we're both leading a service this weekend together. So we'll be around. I may be a little busy from time to time, but I'll definitely have time to get back to you if you send me a message. And I just want to wish everyone a blessed Easter celebration if you celebrate Easter, and a wonderful long weekend if you don't celebrate. Whatever you're doing, I hope you have a fabulous time this weekend with family and friends. All right, bye for now, and I'll see you next week.